You must have had a really interesting life, said Rachel. I cannot wait to finish reading your amazing book. I am just naturally gifted, said Jack Frost, stroking his spiky beard. Will you sign some copies of your book for us? Asked Kirsty, clasping her hands together. Well, if you insist, said Jack Frost. He sounded almost kind. There was a big pile of his books on the table, and he opened one and began to sign his name with a leaking fountain pen. Lydia swooped down, ducked under his arm, and started to unfasten the pin. But just as he finished signing the second book, the fountain pen spurted a blob of ink onto Jack Frost's robe. He glanced down and saw Lydia trying to take the badge. "There is a fairy in my office," bellowed Jack Frost. "How dare you come in here? I will put you in detention. I will give you a year's worth of homework. I'll make you take exams every day. Come here." He tried to trap Lydia between his hands, but he zoomed away from him and out through the open window. Jack Frost hurled himself after her, his long robe flapping behind him as he ran. "They are heading for the playground," cried Rachel. "Come on, we have to stop him from catching Lydia." She and Kirsty clambered out of the window too and followed Jack Frost towards the icy playground. He was still yelling at Lydia, but he was so out of shape that he was panting too. Rachel and Kirsty reached the playground and only just avoided stepping into some goblins playing hopscotch. "Watch it," the goblins yelled rudely. The dolls really wanted to say sorry, but they knew that a real goblin would never be polite. They stuck out their tongues, and so did the other goblins. "Youch!" strode a tall, lanky goblin. A plump, warty goblin had landed on his foot, but as he hopped around, clutching his toes, he tripped over a goblin with a jump rope. They both fell flat on their faces, tangled in the rope. "What are you doing?" they screeched at each other. Rachel grabbed Kirsty's arm. "Those clumsy goblins have given me an idea," she said. "Maybe our big goblin feet can trip up Jack Frost." "Let's try it," Kirsty said eagerly. They raced after Jack Frost, who was sprinting around the playground, snatching the fairy fluttering in front of him. Lydia zigzagged left and right. It was hard to keep up with them, but at last the girls were close enough to touch Jack Frost's trailing rope. "Ready, set, jump!" shouted Rachel. They sprang through the air and landed on the hem of the long blue robe with their big feet. The rope was yanked off Jack Frost, and he staggered sideways, lost his footing, and stumbled into a snowy sandbox. Lydia did a loop in mid-air and swooped down to the rope. She unpinned the gold star badge before Jack Frost could clamber to his feet, then zoomed out of his reach. "Give it back!" screamed Jack Frost, stamping his feet and waving his fist in the air. "You slimy little fairy, give me my badge!" "It is my badge," said Lydia in a gentle voice. "Now that I have it back, thanks to my friends, children all over the world will be able to enjoy reading again." As she spoke, Rachel and Kirsty's disguise melted away, and they fluttered upward to join Lydia. Jack Frost turned a very strange purple color as he realized he had been tricked. He snatched up his rope, stumped over to the outside bell, and wrung it angrily. "Everyone inside now," he yelled. "If I can't have any fun, then neither can you." The goblin grumbled and hung back. None of them wanted to listen to Jack Frost reading more from his book, but their teacher was looking especially fierce. So one by one they all shuffled back into the school. Lydia, Kirsty, and Rachel hovered in the air and watched them. "Are we going to take the badge back to the fairy school now?" Trusty asked after the last goblin had gone inside. Wow, said Lydia, maybe it is silly, but I actually feel sorry for Jack Frost. After all, he went to all the trouble of writing a book, and now no one wants to read it. The girls understood how the kind little fairy was feeling. Maybe there is something we can do to help, said Rachel. Should we go back to the library and find out? The others nodded, and together they flew back into the goblin store. A terrible noise came from the library. Goblins were squawking, shrieking, and thundering around like a herd of elephants. Jack Frost was sitting at a desk with his head in his hand. Lydia looked around and folded her arms. The trouble with these students is that they are bored, she said. What is the use of a library where every book is the same? I have an idea. Lydia grinned at Kirsty and Rachel. Her eyes twinkled.